At Morris University this semester, most of the sociology majors are taking Introduction to Social Psychology, but most of the psychology majors are not. Hence, there must be more psychology majors than psychology majors enrolled in the class.
All right, so what is our conclusion here?
There must be more sociology majors and psychology majors enrolled in the class.
And why are we saying that?
Because most sociology majors are taking that class, but most of the psychology majors, but not most of the psychology majors are.
Yeah, so what kind of flaw is going on here?
I guess I don't know the name of it, but I guess it's taking like just because it's most is like there might be a small amount of sociology majors and a lot of
Yes, this is
psychology.
like a percentage to number flaw kind of thing going on, or
Mhm.
like a proportion flaw. So we need to find an argument that it has like a proportion flaw going on. Does that make sense so far? Like, because we want to find that same reasoning. So let's go ahead and start
Yeah.
with A.
Okay. Most of the paintings on display at the Metro Art Museum are from the 20th century, but most of the paintings the Metro Art Museum owns are from the 19th century. It follows that the museum owns few, if any, of the 20th century paintings it displays. I would say I would cross this one off because whether or not they own it or display it, it's like, I guess, not the same thing as this, the stimulus.
Why don't you think it's the same thing?
I guess it's like the ones that it's between like owning and displaying them, but the ones they have, like, let me read it again. Most of the
But are
paintings.
you saying it's not the same as ours, our question stimulus, or it's not the same thing as the stimulus, like the answer choice stimulus?
Like the psychology, sociology, the stimulus. Like I guess the things being compared in the stimulus. Wait, let me
So
read
most
it.
of the paintings on display are from the 20th, but most of the paintings owns are from the 19th. Also, the museum owns few, if any, of the 20th. So the issue here is like we don't know anything. Yeah, okay, we make a jump here, right? So we have like paintings on display, and we have the 20th century. And then in our second premise, we have owning in the 19th century.
Mhm.
And then we jump and go to owning, but we're talking about the 20th century. So it's not the same. Like it's like that's where it goes wrong.
Mhm.
Where we go from like we talk about, oh, let me screw it like this. We talk about sociology in this class, and
Mhm.
then we talk about psychology in this class, and then we make a comparison of sociology to psychology.
Right. Okay.
Awesome. All right, so it's not A. Let's go on to B.
Okay. In an opinion poll of Silver Falls residents, more said they were in favor of increasing spending on roads than they were in favor of increasing spending on parks. So most Silver Falls residents must be in favor of spending more on roads, but opposed to spending more on parks.
So what's the
Um,
conclusion here?
Most of the Silver Falls residents must be in favor of spending more on roads, but opposed to spending more on parks.
All right.
Um,
So is your gut that this could be it or it's wrong?
that it's wrong.
Okay. So I agree.
Um,
Typically on the test, I would just cross this off and move on. But since we're like reviewing, what
mhm.
kind of flaw is going on here?
Um, wait 1 second. So most Silver Falls residents must be in favor of spending more on roads but opposed. So I guess it's saying, I guess it's not like a percentage flaw. It's like if they like are in favor of one thing, they're opposing the other thing. Um,
So this is kind of like a false dichotomy going on, or because we're saying that this would be like saying that more people like cake and ice cream Therefore, most people like cake and hate ice cream. Like that's just not, it's too extreme, right? Like
Yeah.
just because they're like, or this is like when people say like, if I said I want to spend more money on healthcare than education, then someone said, well, Nicole hates education. Like that's
Mhm.
not necessarily true, right? I just might want to spend more money on something than it.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And so that's what kind of flaw is going on here. All right, what about C?
In the Felipe City, Arb, most of the trees are of local rather than exotic species. Therefore, in San Felipe area, there must be more trees of local species than exotic. Um, so this one I would say is not right because
Right.
it takes like a sample from the arbor arbor arboretum
Arbitorium.
arbitorium, and it says that because of that small sample, the whole San Felipe area has to have.
Yes, this is a part to whole flaw. We say like what is true of part of it or of this area or must be true of the whole area. Excellent.
Mhm.
All right, what about D?
Okay. Most of the vegetables available at the Valley Food Co-op are organic, but most of the vegetables available at the Jumbo supermarket are not. Thus, more organic vegetables are available at Valley Food than are available at Jumbo. Okay, this seems like it's pretty parallel with the stimulus because,
Yeah, I like this one because we're saying that we're talking about vegetables at VF, organic. The one thing I don't is like the only thing I don't like about it is they say are not organic, but it's still but the reason I would hold on to it is it's the same flaw. It definitely is a percentage flaw.
yeah, that's what confused me on this one. Like, but I see how like what we said before, like there may be a smaller amount of sociology majors versus psychology majors. The same thing here, like Valley Food Co-op could just be a smaller store than Jumbo
Yes,
Supermarket.
exactly. So the root of the flaw is the same and it's correct. And I would, if I hate E, I would completely be comfortable picking D.
Mhm. Okay, so E, the Acme Realty website has photos of most of the houses, but fewer than half of the condominiums that Acme is offering for sale. So Acme must have more houses than condominiums for sale. So this one also kind of seems like the same flaw. Like this one was hard to rule out. Um, Trying to see like what's wrong with it. Um,
So like this is like saying like this is going from photos to selling. And so this is almost like a faulty analogy kind of thing,
mhm,
right? Like we're not saying like we don't ever say like more like they're going like they're trying to say that like the more photos you have, the more houses you have for sale. And we'd never assume that.
okay.
Do you see that? Like, why does that have anything to do with?
I thought that was kind of like the photos is like the people in the class, and then
But
or like photos is to the amount of sales.
but a fewer than half of the condominiums. But like you like, but I feel like there's this extra jump of like photos of most of the houses, but fewer of half of the condominiums. Um, I'm trying to think of. So he is saying most has this, but not this. So we have it. The Acme photos had the Acme Realty website has photos of most of the houses. So we have most house. So we're saying that most of these but a fewer than half of the C. So we have not most of condominiums, that should be houses. So must have more houses than this. I think it comes down to where it's just saying that most of these are not like sorry, I feel like I'm rambling. Okay, so we're saying most houses have photos. And then we're saying most condos do not have photos. Therefore, there must be more houses than condos. So I think the only thing that makes it different really is that we're saying like this actually doesn't have, like we don't have this.
Oh, okay.
Where we actually are saying both of these are going to something.
Yeah.
Because while we are saying most of the vegetables available at JS are not organic, we're
Mhm.
still leaving open that they could be organic, where there's just not most of them.
Yeah. But isn't it the same as like there are some photos of the condos, just less than half?
Less than half.
Or
There
just
are some. Oh yeah, that's a great point. So then this one would be, so Acme must have more sales condominiums, therefore, oh, more houses. So Acme must have more houses for sale than more houses and condominiums for sale. Where then we say, I wonder if it has something to do with like how we say enrolled in the class in particular, where here it says are available at Jumbo.
Mhm.
It's comparing these two things, where E is just saying like have like for sale, but there's like no comparison. I actually kind of want to look this question up because I feel like I'm not giving a good I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm not giving a good explanation
It's
for
okay.
it.
This one really confused me.